Australia. Today, you guys are here to see two special guests, Simon Toohey and our lovely Mandy Hall, who will be cooking for Simon, who is unfortunately stuck in Melbourne thanks to COVID. So Simon being one of the finalists in MasterChef, Mandy Hall also being a contestant in MasterChef. We have some beautiful brains here to pick in regards to how to cook beautiful, healthy food and make it delicious at the same time. Simon's ethos is to make plant-based cooking fun, colorful, and delicious. With Mandy, she is also here representing everything fermented. So definitely someone to talk to in regards to fermentation. Simon, if you haven't heard, has a show on Channel 10, which is called Freshly Picked. They actually just wrapped up filming the second season. The first all vegan cooking show of its kind. So definitely stream that if you haven't already. And with that, I will hand you over to Simon and Mandy. Thank you.
Hey everyone. It's kind of weird. Hey Simon, I can see you.
I can see you. Good to see you all. How are you?
Hey, just I've got my Insta Live going at the same time. So
nice. I'm going to put mine on in a second as well.
No, hang on. It's not working.
Before we start, I'm just going to do a little letting you know that I'm coming from the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung country, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. And send my deep respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And thank you all for having me here as well, especially over there in sunny Adelaide. Today it's sunny in Melbourne. How good is that?
Awesome.
Love the sun. I'm going to start my Insta Live as well, everyone, because you know what? Why not? Checking connection. That's always a problem. Okay, let's start. Now, yesterday, if you were here, Mandy, what did we cook? We cooked an amazing French-style lentils and really slow braised carrots, didn't we? Oh,
yeah, gorgeous.
I had that for dinner. I was very happy.
Yeah, no, they were absolutely gorgeous, full of flavour. They have wine and veggie stock and fresh herbs. In fact, you know, it's a distraction having you there. I'm going to stop looking at you.
Yeah, look at the crowd.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful dish. Very simple, but really full of flavour.
So anyone on my Instagram right now, I'm letting you know that I'm doing a live cook along for Adelaide Vegan Festival with Mandy. She's in Adelaide, I'm in Melbourne, and we've got a crowd over there giving us all the love. Thank you so much for coming along. So today, Mandy, I know you know this, but to everyone who's watching, we're making onions.
We're making
onion cannelloni.
We are.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're making onion cannelloni. I've already made a beautiful batch for you this morning that is sitting in the oven here, which you'll all get some later. But, yeah, that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to let you get started.
Yeah, totally. So the thing is, the onion cannelloni, normally, obviously, cannelloni you're using pasta sheets. But the difference with this is we're going to use the onion as the pasta. So it's completely going to encase our filling, and then that's going to get baked in a gorgeous, rich tomato sauce. Now, I'm just going to show you how to do the onion because I've already got some pre-done here in front of me. I don't know if you guys if you all can see that, but I've got them all roasted there. So that's just going to take off about 20 minutes of our time. But to show you how it's done, one onion like this, a big brown onion, you can use red onions, you can use white onions. It really doesn't matter. You just want a nice size because it's going to have to encapsulate everything. Or like hold everything in one. So I'm just going to go from stem to root to stem and just cut straight down the middle like that. Open it up in half. Now I'm going to rub a little bit of oil on the cut side, and then I'm going to place them cut side down on my baking tray like that, and then throw them in the oven for 20 minutes. Right, so how many have we done there? We've done 3 onions. Depending on how many people you cook for, you can do as many as you like, right? It doesn't matter at all.
I doubled the recipe so we could feed this incredible crowd
later
gorgeous.
On today. And how did that go, Mandy? Was doubling okay
today,
with the recipe?
Yeah, no, and that I say that would feed at least 6 to 8 people, double the recipe, which you'll all get the recipe. I pre-cut them only because one of the things I've learned going along the way is not to cut onions while you are live on stage. Yeah, particularly if you're wearing mascara, it's a pretty ugly look. So, yeah, so I cut them at
Oh
home.
dear, that's a really good shout. I actually never thought of that. I'm really glad you told me that. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Look, I might not have the mascara running problem, but I definitely will be crying.
Oh, you do so.
Absolutely like crazy on stage.
Simon, I
That's
lived
true,
with
that's
you.
true.
I lived with you in a house and 22 other people. I know you have mascara problems.
It makes my eyes pop, just makes them pop. It's the color that works. Right. Okay, so I've got a pan on medium heat. And what we're going to do is we're now going to just build our flavor. So we've cut the onions, we put them in the oven, and the recipe is in the ebook. Adelaide Vegan Fest is doing an ebook. So if you want the recipe, just jump on there and check it out. No need to take notes if you are. Hello, everyone there. Still on Instagram Live. Good to see you there. So I've cut the onion. I put that in the oven. And that's ready to go 20 minutes or so. Now, I've got the warm pan going here, and I've got 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to roughly dice them. That's it. Like, nothing crazy. There's no worries here. I always find that we spend so much time, Mandy, and everyone who's watching, spending so much time trying to finely chop garlic. And it drives me up the wall. I just can't be bothered doing it. One, I do it on a mandolin, which is great.
Yeah.
Which we talked about yesterday. It's a great little life hack where you leave the skin on. And I've got the mandolin here. And anyone who's there, there's a clove of garlic with the little paper on, right? And I've got my mandolin here, and all I'm doing is just leaving the paper on and mandolining. I'm not mandolining. I'm doing microplaning. Bloody mandolining.
You know what? When you said mandolin, I went, yeah, that's really great. And I just thought, oh my God, people are going to lose their fingers. Don't mandolin garlic. Microplane it.
No, microplane it. You can use a box microplane. But look at this. The paper is still there. So the paper is still there, right? But all the garlic is beautifully, minced at the back of the microplane. So that's a little life hack that I love to do when I really need to sort of, finely cut or mince, especially with a nice little bit of Indian food, that sort of style, Indian cuisine, or that subcontinent style, when you need to mince garlic. I use that sort of trick. And you can actually, when I make kimchi, Mandy, and you might not like this, but I do the whole bulb. So I just get the whole bulb and just start going to town on the microplane.
Yeah, well, why not? And, another thing for those of you who make kimchi or need to peel, 20 to 40 garlic cloves at a time, which is what I have to do when I'm making kimchi, is throw them all into a jar, put a lid on the jar, shake and shake and shake, and the skins will come off. Just take that really hard and, take that hard end off. Makes it, because when you're peeling 40 cloves of garlic, it's a bit full on.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so the pan's on warm. How's your pan going? I'm going to go in with a nice glug of olive oil.
So, Simon, once again, my pan is great because I'm standing in the Farquhar kitchen using my Fisher Paykel induction, and it is just cooking away.
I love that. Okay, so so I've only got solid technique, and I'm using a what do they call it? A Bunnings special $12 gas burner. So, put that in your kitchen and smoke it.
Still works.
But put your garlic in your pan, a little sizzle away, move it around. So what we're doing here is we're creating the sauce that our wonderful cannelloni is going to sit on top of, right?
Yep.
So I'm just going to fry those onions. As soon as they get a little bit of color, get rid of them. Put the tomatoes in. But with this oil, I'm going to throw in my aromatics, right? So you can do whatever you want. I've got rosemary. I actually got some thyme from yesterday's dish. So I'm going to throw throw in that thyme from yesterday, and I got some rosemary that I'm going to throw in as well, right? My garlic is already starting to get some color. Mandy, how's yours looking?
It's good. I'm just swapping pans because I just realized midway through that I was using a pan that I want to use for something else. So.
All right, I see. For tonight's dinner cook.
Yeah, it's okay. But we're good. It's sizzling away. I'm going to throw in my rosemary. But you're right. Great. Whatever you've got is fantastic.
If you have some, I think I've got some bay. Actually, I've got a bay leaf here. I'm going to throw a bay leaf in, Mandy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got one lying next door, but yeah, that's right.
I'm here. I don't have a spare bay leaf. Anybody got a spare bay leaf on them? No, and nobody has one here in the audience. So.
Right. Does anyone have a Fisher and Paykel stovetop though? Maybe that I could borrow? No.
No, they don't. But they get to see one while I'm standing in the Farquhar kitchen.
Right. So the garlic is in there. That browned up. You got nice roasty flavors in that garlic because it's just started to color. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. those aromats, the herbs have gone in. They're smelling amazing as well. And what I've done is I put in 2 cans of tin tomatoes, right? You can use fresh tomatoes. We're coming really close to good quality tomato season. So they're great to use if you so wish. But, sometimes these little baby cherry tomatoes, they're fantastic.
So, Si, have you put your tomatoes in? I was mucking
I
about.
just put them in. Yeah, that's okay. I just put them in then. So these are Aussie cherry tomatoes in a can, which I really love. The sauce is super rich, which is so good for this sort of dish because I want that really that beautiful richness that imparts, especially when you've got that gorgeous olive oil, which, by the way, is from South Australia.
As it should be.
My favorite olive oil.
We have some beautiful olive oil here. We have beautiful salt.
Pendleton olive oil. Look at this. Isn't it delicious?
Pendleton.
Good,
oh, well
good.
done. That's
Good
actually.
people. Good
I had
people.
to decant it because I can't carry everything around, but that's actually the oil. And that's just a fluke that I'm using also.
Oh, really? How good's that?
Yeah.
So bring that sauce up to the boil now, to a simmer, and then turn it down. Sorry, bring it up to sort of a bubble and then turn it down to a simmer. We just want to start to reduce that, okay? Now, if you don't have time, because we've only got, 45 minutes or so left, tomatoes, Mandy, you know this, but and everyone out there might know this as well. Tomatoes have great sweetness, right? Beautiful sweetness. And when you cook them down and reduce them in a sauce in the oven, you get great flavor from that, along with the onions. Now, we don't have that time with the tomatoes today. And of course, a lot of people at home don't want to have to spend 4 hours reducing tomatoes to get the sweetness out of it. So I use a little trick, and I always add sugar to my tomatoes. So I have a teaspoon I'm just going to throw in there, only a small amount, because once you think about how much that's going to reduce, and that sweetness is going to intensify, so you need to make sure your balance is right. It's quite important. And then season a wee bit of salt.
So,
and then
is that a wee bit or a chef's bit?
A wee bit.
Because this is a wee bit, and this is how much I would add. So
yeah, that's right.
We're a bit liberal with salt, but we need it. We need it.
In TV, they say a pinch of salt. In reality, it's a handful,
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Simon, if you didn't have sugar at home, if you didn't have any caster sugar, which some people don't have sugar hanging around at home, what else could we put in those tomatoes?
There is, look, thyme is one that I think is always the best option, right? Thyme. Yeah. But then you got great options like if you want sort of liquidized or unrefined sugars, you got maple syrup. Oh, yum. Anything that's dark and rich. You could even use things like molasses would be really delicious, or treacle would be really good.
Gorgeous.
Or what, a golden syrup if you want to go classic old school,
Absolutely.
These sorts of things are fantastic. Is there anything you would put in this, Mandy, that would work?
I think that's a really good alternative. Often we have things like maple syrup in our house, and I love using maple syrup in cooking. I think it's fantastic. That would be my go-to.
Yeah, I love a good maple syrup. It's such a beautiful ingredient. I'd love to get some more of that over here. Right, so while that's bubbling away, it just turned out, because I haven't got a good induction fish and pickerel like you, my gas just went off. So I've just had to turn that back on, bring that up to the boil, and then I'm going to put that back down to the simmer. Let's get on to the filling, Mandy. Just before we do that, though, let's just quickly put some basil leaves in this sauce as well. Let's get that sort of wonderful infusion of basil in that sauce. I just want to see some freshness going on. And, so I'm just picking off some stems. Happy days like this. Really easy. Bosh, in there. They'll just really melt down anyway and turn into nothing.
And, again, sorry. We talked about this yesterday, but, if this, put the stalks in your dish. You can always fish them out afterwards. I'm not going to today only because of what we're doing. But if I was doing this at home, the stalks would go in. And if you're not using the stalks, they will go into a bag, into your freezer, just like any other stalk, parsley, whatever you've got. Keep them, keep the bag, keep the onion skins, keep it all in a bag in the freezer. And whenever you need, you're making a stock or you're making a casserole, just get whatever you want out of the freezer and throw them in.
Remember those days when we used to go to the supermarkets and buy things like cauliflower or broccoli, and then because you paid by weight, you just snapped the stem off and then bought the broccoli? Remember those days? Like, now you have to pay per broccoli, so it really doesn't make any sense. But it's a classic example of that stem is so nutritious and delicious, and why wouldn't you use it,
Yeah, and we talked, I don't know if there's anybody that was here yesterday that's here again today, so sorry if I'm boring you, but we talked about the importance of soil and how thankfully now that there's a huge movement, people like Matthew Evans writing about soil. There's a lot of people talking about soil at the moment. We're taking a step back and thinking about our soil, and that's why, you know, things that have been grown in great soil, their stems, their leaves, their everything, they're
absolutely
nutrient dense. That, you know, I urge people to use it. Don't throw it away.
Now, Mandy, while we're going on here, I've just got a pot behind me, or like a pan just on the heat again, because I've only got one gas burner in front of me. I've got my spinach here. So our filling is spinach, and I've got some semi-firm tofu here, and some baked feta. You could use, you know, I've also got here, I haven't got baked feta actually because I couldn't get some today, but I've got some vegan dairy chèvre, which is really beautiful.
Gorgeous.
So it is so smooth and creamy, and it melts really beautifully. So I'm going to put my spinach into my pan and wilt that down into nothing. So I'm just going to do that now. It's about 200 grams of spinach. That's just going to do it. You know what it's like. Everyone who's ever had, you know, spinach for brekkie or anything like that knows it's going to turn into absolutely nothing in about 10 seconds. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then jumping over here, I've got my block of tofu. Now, you don't need to use all of it, again, depending on how many people you're cooking for. The best way, so I've taken the block out. I've kind of cut it in lengthways. You don't even have to do that. And I've just got a potato masher. And all I'm doing is starting from the edges, and I'm just going to potato mash the tofu. That's it.
Do you know, this
really
is
simple.
Without a word of a lie, Simon and I did not talk about this morning or yesterday or at any time we were talking about doing this together. But I was this morning thinking, you know, I don't want to take a mixer. We don't need a mixer or a blender or whatever.
No.
What have I got that I can squash all this up politely without using my hands so you don't all go, and it was a potato masher. So I have one too.
Amazing. All right, good. So we're on the same wave. Like, we're always on the same page, though. It's quite weird. And then I'm going to put in my, you know, whether it's baked feta, whether it's a chèvre, this plant-based chèvre that I got here, or whatever you have. This is kind of like, I guess, if you were to make it like your egg, it's your binding agent. It's what's going to hold everything together. My sauce is bubbling away beautifully, so I'm just going to turn it down to a simmer. And my spinach is nearly done. And I'm just going to now mash all of that together, adding a little bit of salt, adding a little bit of pepper again.
Have
there
you
we
done,
go. Gorgeous.
Is your spinach done, Si?
Pretty much, yeah. How's yours
not.
looking?
Mine's needing a little bit more attention.
Look, if you need to add a little bit of water to it, go for it, you know?
It's all right.
No, you're all right?
It'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, anyway, my spinach is hanging out pretty there, so I'm just going to let that do its thing. And it doesn't matter if you don't get it fully wilted. You know, it's all going to sort of work its way down once you put into the filling. But okay, so I'm going to finish off with my mashing. Everything is coming together really nicely, right? So, as I said before, that softer cheese style, that plant-based cheese, is really just helping bind that tofu together. And we've flavored that tofu, salt and pepper. You could add some lemon zest, which I'm just going to do now. Like, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. I got some lemon and you know, my microplane, remember?
Nice.
And I'm just going to put some lemon zest in there. If you've got some thyme, you can really finely dice up some thyme and throw it in there. What else, Mandy? What else did you put in this if you had to, you know, add some more flavor to it?
I think, did we talk about adding some nutmeg?
Oh, nutmeg. Bosh, right in front of me, staring me in the eyes.
I've already got mine ground, but I think, Simon, are you using whole nutmeg there that you could talk about?
Yeah. So I've got my, apparently this is the talk of the town today. I've got my microplane here again. So I've microplaned the garlic, I've microplaned the lemon, and I've microplaned my nutmeg, fresh nutmeg. I just think, you know, Mandy, you probably just ground yours this morning, didn't you?
I did, actually.
There's nothing quite like fresh nutmeg. And it goes a long way, you know. It goes such a long way. You don't need much. I always think they sell way too much at the supermarkets. They give you 6 or 7 nutmeg numbers. And in fairness, that's lasting me at least a year, I reckon. But anyway, I'm sure some people have different sort of ways of they use it probably a lot more than I do. So I'm going to bring it together. And then, man, if you could, just a drizzle of olive oil, just to soften it up a bit.
Sure.
Just to break it up just a little bit. Or a squeeze of lemon juice, just a little bit of liquid. Just to make it a bit more pliable.
I can do that. I've done that.
Have you done that?
I've done that.
A little bit in the middle. I'm just using my chopping board because, you know what, as we said, I'm at home and I'm in comfort town. So I just happily do it. I have nothing to worry about then. My dishwasher just finished. You know, I could empty the dishes if I wanted to. Right, so here we go. Spinach is done, everyone. As you can see, spinach is done. So the filling, which is now the plant-based cheese, the tofu, now this wonderful spinach, and then you can cut this up with your knife really roughly. So I'm just emptying this in to my filling. Doing this in a very awkward way with a buddy.
Hey, Simon, you know what I did? I just put mine into a chucks to get out a bit of extra liquid.
Oh, did you?
I've got
good idea.
third-degree burns because of it. But
the things you do for a live video, eh?
Oh, I know. But also, just talking about the liquid that comes out of that, again, put that in a jar. Whatever you keep your things in the freezer, keep it, throw it into something. Sometimes I think it's okay. Simon can kind of see how much liquid he's got going on with his spinach, but it can easily ruin a dish. And I know not this dish in particular, but if you don't squeeze out a bit of that extra moisture, it can absolutely spoil a dish. So I've kind of got used to doing that. But
I agree with you.
Normally I'd let it cool down slightly, but we don't have that time.
No, we don't really. Now look at this. Once you sort of get into the mixture, it cools down because it hits everything from there. Look, like this mixture to me, I'm just going to come over to the live people here. So this is my filling for our cannellonis, which is going to be onions. Onions are the casing for the cannelloni, and that mixture right now, Mandy, how does that look? How does that taste to you?
Right now, Simon, I'm just using my masher and I haven't got time to taste, but I will taste it in a minute. I also don't have a spoon, but I'll just use a measuring cup. Spoon.
I love that. I'm going to add a little bit more seasoning to mine.
Yeah, it's good. No one's eating this, don't worry, because I've been using my hands. You've got one that's been beautifully done this morning. It's really good. I think that nutmeg makes a huge difference to the flavour.
Yeah, I think so too.
It just makes it pop.
Yum.
How's yours? Good?
Yeah, so delish.
Good.
So delish.
I'm sure mine's better, but that's okay.
That's true, but I could eat it on my own. I could eat that on its own.
No
idea.
It's a really beautiful dish, a really beautiful flavour. You can put that in so many things, but love it. Absolutely love it. So where are we up to?
Now, Mandy, can you have a look at your tomato sauce and let me know how that thing's cooking away?
Mine's
really
great.
turning down to a nice jam now. No, I don't know if you've got it, Mandy. My oven's on about 180 because I'm just going to put the rest of it in there. So when the tomato sauce, Mandy, gets to the level you think is right, so it's nice and jammy, got great flavour, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yep.
Turn it off for me, and I'm going to leave that in your capable hands because I know you know what you're doing.
Did you already put some stock in yours, Simon, and I missed that bit?
Actually, no, I didn't. But I added a I didn't add any stock to mine, but I'm okay with it. I don't think
I'm going to add some stock. Just for the people here, I'm going to add some stock. So you'll get, at home, I would, because you've got that extra time for it to reduce. We don't here, but that's okay. But I would certainly add some stock to that sauce. I think it makes a huge difference.
I agree, actually. I did have stock on the recipe. I don't know why I haven't, but let me taste it and see.
Oh, so you must have given me I'm following Simon's beautiful recipe because he does write the most extraordinary recipes. And my version of your recipe has stock in it.
No, mine does too, Mandy.
Good.
Whole food.
I was a bit worried there for a moment.
Absolutely forgot. I got it in the cupboard there, and I don't know why I didn't bring it out.
That's all right.
But because mine's reduced enough, and it's nice and sweet, and it's nice and jammy, it's full of flavour, and I'm sticking to how much it's been reduced just by eye. Like I'm really everyone who's out there who's watching, you need to sort of trust your judgment on this. And then what happens is if it ends up not being right, then you know for next time, okay, I'm just going to reduce that a little bit more. Absolutely. But right now, that is a really nice consistency. How many times, Mandy, do you reckon you've stuffed up and
never
haven't? I shouldn't have asked that question.
Stupid. I did once on national television where I got eliminated very quickly.
That's right.
Other than that, never.
What a time to shine, What a time to shine. So I've got my onions here that have been roasted and nice and colourful and golden at the bottom. I'm just going to take off the root part, right? Because I need that to be. I need the onions to start to have their little segments. Are you nearby where I'm up to, Mandy?
Well, you know, we're so busy talking that I keep missing steps, but I've got it all here ready to go. No, the onions are done. I'm going to hold one up. What I actually did, I decided not to try and burn myself again, is I've got some pre-done ones that I've from home. So I can show them both versions, but this is what they look like when they come out of the oven. Obviously, they're not quite as golden. There we go. They start to get a bit golden, and you can see the layers just come away really easily.
Look, I'm going to come in close to you as well, Mandy, and show you where, because I let mine cool as well. I mean, it's always good to prep them, and there's mine's nice and golden as well. So, you know,
so
not
then
bad,
when they're cooled and you can handle them, they don't need to be cold, just cool. You know, they just make these gorgeous little shapes, which we'll do in a minute.
And the thing is that the classic pasta style cannelloni, it just it hasn't got any flavor, right? Like it's just pasta sheets. Like it's a holder, it's a carrier of flavor. But if we can turn that into something with flavor, how good is that, right? So this onion is sweet. It's got some texture still. So it's actually if I have one now, it's almost al dente. You know, there's crunch to it. It's perfect.
They are perfect.
I'm going to take off all the little segments.
Okay, so
and then I'm going to start making some. Okay, great. So
are you going to spoon yours in, or are you going fancy smancy into a piping bag?
No, stuff the piping bag. No one has a bloody piping bag. If you have a piping bag, you've used it once for a frosting and it's in the back of your cupboard. So you spend 3/4 of an hour trying to work out where you put it 2 years ago.
Simon, I'm currently holding a piping bag. Now, I'm just going to talk to people because you can reuse these, wash them out and reuse them, but you can also they're kind of a covered canvas one. If you're into piping bags, if you're that way inclined, and you can throw those in the washing machine and they're great. And I thought today I'm going to use a piping bag because that bugger, he will use one and he's going to make me look like such an amateur if I don't. And look what he's done.
Oh, how good is that? I love that so much. In all honesty, Mandy, I will get you out of the. Yeah, I do have a piping bag, but I just decided not to.
Because you forced me into the piping bag situation, I'm going to finish off that. I don't know if anyone knows how to get everything down to the end. You saw me wrap it over my hand and put it in, and you just
Mandy,
swing
do you
it
want to
around.
Bring someone up?
Right?
Mandy, are you allowed to bring someone up to help make some? Is that allowed at the moment down there to give someone an example?
I don't need anybody. I'm all right.
No, I know, but I want them to know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just joking. Yeah, no. Once I finish swinging this around and getting it, who would like to come up? Would anyone like to come up and pipe? Come and pipe some of these beautiful shells with me.
Those who haven't got the piping, so my mixture is quite thick and quite grainy and lumpy because I quite like that texture.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting a teaspoon. And I don't know how well you can see that. And I'm just putting the teaspoon in the middle there. Just not a huge amount, less is more in this situation. And then all I'm doing is squeezing it together. And you create this beautiful little shell. Look at that. Look at that. How good is that? I'm going to come around and show you over the cameras, everyone on the show. Is anyone coming to... No one wants to pipe. Fair enough.
No one wants to pipe. We do have someone who will pipe.
Oh, great.
You know, I think if I hadn't have used a piping bag, chances are someone would have loved to have come up. So now, I'll just quickly do one, but you can see. So it really is this simple. You've got your gorgeous shell, you pipe some filling in, and that's it. If you've got them all lined up, it just makes it really quick.
That's right.
Squeeze them together.
That's right. Something that I don't have.
So if you'd like to pipe some, that'd be great.
For all those out in the crowd, all I'm doing now is once I've spooned it on, I then fold them up, and then my tomato sauce, my big, beautiful, rich tomato sauce that's there, has been turned off, and it's just letting them chill. I'm now just going to put them cut side down, the opening side down, just facing them all the way around in a beautiful little sort of like flower pattern, and just follow the whole contours of your pan. You can pour this into a baking tray and then do it in a massive baking tray. That's totally fine too. But for simplicity's sake, and because you're all here, I quite like it. My cast iron here can go in the oven. So be sure to make sure if you're going to use a pan that it's oven safe. All right, how's that going over there, Mandy?
We're all good. We got some piping away. I've got some gorgeous ones that are in the oven. And
Great.
And my Fisher pie curl is making a really funny noise at the moment, but that's all right. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good to go. And it really is. You can see that, you know, I'm mucking about and being silly, but it is a very simple recipe that you don't need a piping bag for, or you don't need any special equipment for at all.
No.
It's really, you'll see when it comes out of the oven, the first is, it's really beautiful to look at also before you even start eating. Hey, Si?
Absolutely. Well, I've already snacked on the filling already, but I think that's just normal, right? Like everyone does that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not.
So I'm going to make my way around
All right.
and continue to finish this off.
All right.
Are you getting close to near the end as well?
Yeah, so I'm just going to spoon some of my tomato mixture into this. This is our little, I guess, prop dish. It's not the one that we've finished in the oven, but I'll spoon that in. Have that sitting. The smell is incredible. Can you smell? Anybody? Can you smell it? Fantastic. It's a gorgeous smell. So I've just
Is it good? Is it?
Oh yeah. I've just spooned some of that in the bottom, and then it is really just a case of placing your onion shells into your pan. How are you going, Si?
Good. I'm just showing the people on the Insta how I did it. You know, I think it's nice. Making a little flower pattern all the way around the outside of the pan, you know. And the thing about this that I really like as well, and I know this is just a little bit sort of pedantic, but as you move inside the oven, as you go and live in the oven, as you move inside the onion, you'll find that the flavor of that onion changes, right? So when you've got that really one's closest to the sort of central part where it's been touching the hot baking tray, you're going to find they're going to be a lot sweeter than the ones that are, you know, up towards the skin, which are going to be a little bit more acidic. So it's a really nice contrast in flavor. And you'll find that not every single one is the same, which is really, I think, a fantastic sort of, you know, hidden bonus that I didn't realize until I had this the first time. I love it.
Gorgeous. Are you all done?
How's the piping going?
Yeah, no,
I'm nearly done.
good.
I got 4 to go.
On this side, we're all done. I might actually step down off the stage a minute and show people what it looks like.
Yeah, good idea. I love that.
Before it pops into the oven, because it's always nice to have a look. See what we're talking about before it goes in.
Make sure we're not showing everyone that we're not lying.
Your sauce is going to be at home. Your sauce is going to be a bit stickier than that.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So you tip them back up and then peel them. So did you miss the peel? I'll go and get one for a minute. Yeah, you put them the other way up. Oh, Simon.
What?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I've done mine the other way around.
What'd you do?
I put mine cut side, like the opening side up.
Oh, interesting.
This is why
it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
Here, case in point is why I was eliminated from MasterChef and he went on twice, right? This is what happens.
Gosh. The only reason in my logic, and it really is just a personal, really logic, is that, you know, if you have the cut side down, it's sealed in the sauce. Whereas if you have cut side up, the possibilities of it opening with the heat could happen. Now, I've never actually worked it out and tried the other way around. So, Mandy, I guarantee you, if you've made it at home the same way as you made it there, and none of them have opened, then you're absolutely fine.
Yeah, no.
And there you go. There's another world of debunking the crap that some chefs say or some cooks say. You know.
Do you know what it
always
is?
True.
It just reminded me of that ricotta-filled pasta dish that you make. You know, I don't know. With the big ricotta shells, with the big pasta shells. And I guess that's what I was thinking when I didn't follow your recipe properly.
Right, okay. So cannoli, which is what we've been talking cannoli, no, definitely not a sweet. Cannelloni, which is what we're talking about. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about those great big giant boat-looking pasta shells, which look like these gorgeous onion skins. But look.
Oh, I know the ones. Yeah, you made something for that the other day, didn't you? And then fried it. Was that you?
No.
No, okay. Well,
that was
so everyone who's on Insta.
Another one of your favourite people.
Like. That's going to go in the oven, everyone. For these onion cannelloni is going to go in the oven, maybe about 20 minutes, 180 degrees, until you get that lovely spots that the onions get. That little sort of blisteriness. That's what we're after. So here we go from people on that side. This is what mine looks like. This is what a real cooked one looks like.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and get my upside down onions out.
Yes.
They're all
Okay.
cooked and they're ready to go.
Well, that's beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of leftovers here for me, so I can use this for anything. You can even put that on the topping. You can put this in a beautiful sort of plant-based lasagna, all that sort of stuff. It's really delicious. I absolutely love this. I'm going to have this tonight for dinner.
I'm wondering where is the camera that I can show Simon how much mine look better?
Your left shoulder. Your left shoulder up.
Okay. Just let me just digi it up just a little bit more. So
All right, everyone on the Insta.
I'm super sorry, Si, that I kind of mucked up your recipe there. I don't think
it makes any difference, really, to be honest, does it?
And you told me yesterday that I was allowed to be as creative as I wanted.
That's right. Oh, look at your pan. Look at your little pot too. I love that. That was gorgeous.
Can you see that?
Okay, so the cameraman zoomed in.
Yep.
Camera person zoomed in. Oh, great. That looks gorgeous. Okay, it looks better than mine.
Yeah. He's just saying that. He's so polite.
Why'd you show me, man? You should have just kept it a secret. All right, so I've chucked mine in the oven. I'm actually, before I do that, I'm going to just take it out quickly. I'm going to take it out just quickly. I'm just going to drizzle it with a little bit more olive oil, just a tiny touch, just to help it conduct a bit more flavors. And then a little sprinkle of salt as well. When the amount of salt I go through, you buy kilos of salt. Kilos of good salt. A little sprinkle of salt. Have you put any basil on top, Mandy, to cook in the oven as well?
No, I put some fresh basil on afterwards.
Great, that's what I'll do too, because that's what I was hoping you would.
We've got some gorgeous basil in the sauce.
Great.
So yeah, no, I had a dish prepared earlier, Simon, only because I got that out only because we've got this gorgeous audience here, and it gives them an opportunity to sit and eat your dish before you leave us. So that's why I'm done a little bit earlier.
Well, that's brilliant. So that, to me, Mandy, and everyone who's in that wonderful crowd right there, hello all. I can see you now. That's my onion cannelloni with the sort of like a baked feta or a plant-based cheese and tofu stuffing with spinach and a rich tomato sauce. And then let's talk about cost, right, Mandy? How much do you reckon this costs for a family of four, right? Like 2 tins of tomatoes, a couple bucks each, maybe, if you want to go super supreme. And onions are cheap as chips. Tofu, $2 for 500 grams.
Yep.
If you think about how much this is going to feed, it's just so cheap and it's really beautiful. And I guarantee you, Mandy, you'd say this as well. If you took this to a table and put it in the middle of the table, it's going to be an absolute wow factor.
It's so impressive. And you're right. It is. Look, basil's in season, coming into do its full season at the moment.
Right.
So, if you go for a walk and you see people growing it in their front garden, just lean over and take some. And because you don't need much for the recipe. Same with rosemary. That's growing everywhere. You can, and it's really cheap.
Yep.
It's not expensive. Garlic, I will talk about garlic while we're here because in Australia we have a shortened garlic season. One of the things that's really good to do with garlic is ferment it. And I know, obviously, I ferment and want to talk about fermenting everything, but that's a great reason to buy seasonal Australian garlic and ferment it in a brine or just ferment it simply with salt, 2% salt, and then keep that in your fridge. It means you always have garlic on hand, and it's not imported. It's been grown in Australia. It's not been sprayed with nasties. So I think that's another way that not only does it save you money, it means you're buying and eating locally. You know what you're getting. And then you get the added bonus of some microbes on top of that when we ferment it.
I must admit, though, on this end as well, that people from South Australia and, of course, Adelaide, because I've come and stayed with you, Mandy, and I've met a lot of the beautiful people that inhabit that wonderful city, about food, right? Like, it's really just a common thing. Food chat is just something that happens on the regular in Adelaide, in South Australia. It's so fantastic because the produce you have from, really dry lands up in the north down all the way to beautiful wet air, like a lot more wet areas, where they're growing such great things like potatoes and garlic, etc., etc., etc. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We are very, very fortunate. We have great food, great wine, not so great water that comes out of our tap, but that's okay. You can boil that.
It's not as bad as WA.
No,
like
we are.
sand.
We're very, very lucky. We've got a few people who have had the opportunity to start eating that. What do you think? Oh, they love it, Si. Absolutely love it.
You haven't disappointed them?
I might send you a little video later. I won't do it now. Everyone's like, is there anybody in the room that does not want to have their face on video at all? Okay, cool. I'll make sure. I'll just, here we
go. Now, is there any questions out there as well about the dish while we're at it as well?
Anybody want to wave to Simon? I'm going to send it to him. Look, Simon, and thumbs up for how much you loved his dish.
Thanks, everyone.
Yay.
Love it.
It's sorry. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions at all about the dish or really anything while they've got the two of us standing here? Yeah. The vegan chef that you use, Si, where did it come from?
It's called the Vegan Dairy. They're based in Victoria. They're based down towards Mornington Peninsula. So it's an amazing one. Let me see if I can. So the packet, I'm just going to get in my compost.
My packet too, but mine's a different brand, which I got from. I don't know if there's any supermarket sponsors here, but I'll whisper it in your ear later because I don't want to get anyone into trouble here. But
this packet's completely compostable as well. Yeah, I've used. I mean, it's just really creamy and delicious.
I think probably now too, with particularly now that borders are opening again and transport issues aren't what they are. People like that, obviously, Australian brand of Victoria. If you get online and have a look at them, normally they will send to South Australia. I'm sure we've got vegan feta or we certainly have vegan cheese makers here or plant-based cheese makers here. All good things are here. I don't know if they do a feta. There's a lot.
They do a great brie. I did this dish for Freshly Peaked on Channel 10. It's plug. 3:30 Channel 10. Anyway, so I did this dish with I got an all good things brie, and then made a vegan mince, and then like a chili sambal, and then wrapped it in a tortilla and baked it.
Yeah, amazing.
And then so like cut it open into little cubes, and everyone sort of it's crack. It's delicious.
It is beautiful. And look, again, I'm going to go down the fermenting path, but it's really not very difficult to make your own version, to ferment and make your own version of plant-based cheese. It gets a bit complicated when you start using molds and wanting them to look like bries and camemberts, but you can do it. It's actually not that hard.
Maybe next year, Mandy, you could do a little masterclass on it.
Maybe I could.
You and I next to each other making cheese.
We can certainly do some plant-based cheeses really easily. If you were that way inclined that you wanted to make your own, for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you need from me while I'm here, everyone? How was it?
How was it? Did they say delicious, Si? They loved it.
Yeah, cool. Everyone. No one's talking because everyone's eating.
Always a good sign.
Always a good sign. That the smells in this room are absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to put that all together. I've got my kids here, and I think that's what we're going to be having this week.
Oh, amazing.
Delicious. Yeah.
All right, everyone, a big thank you. Big love to everyone in South Australia and Adelaide, and congratulations on being brilliant human beings. Sometimes people just need a little bit more love, and so I'm giving it to you now. You are all fantastic. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. And I hope I see you when I'm down there soon.
All right. See you, Si.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks, Mandy.
See you.
Thank
you, everyone. That was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. You're a great audience. Just to let you know, we do have another session on at 2:30. So we've got Rebecca Stoner coming in. She's making pumpkin pie, which I cannot wait for. It's going to be delicious. So to wrap up this beautiful savory dish, have something sweet, meet us back here at 2:30. Thank you all. Oh, and don't forget that all of these recipes will be on the e-cookbook, and that will be available on our website and on Facebook. So every recipe from this weekend, even if you didn't make it to a session, will be available.
And you can also see that it doesn't matter if you put them up the wrong way.
Great
good.
point, Mandy. Great point.